Are Justin Trudeau, the Liberal Party, and the Pierre Elliott Trudeau Foundation involved in a pay-for-play scheme similar to what led the FBI to open an investigation into the Clinton Foundation over allegations foreign governments were buying influence with Hillary and the U.S. State Department via massive donations? Well, it appears to be the case with news this week that Justin and the Liberals hosted a fancy fundraiser with Chinese billionaires and Chinese Communist Party officials. While Canadian election financing laws prohibit more than $1,500 in individual donations, it is not only who was in attendance for the fundraiser that raises concerns, but a $1 million donation from a senior advisor to the Communist Chinese government to the Pierre Elliott Trudeau Foundation that gives the appearance of a pay-for-play scheme. Mr. Zhang Bin, who made the donation, was one of at least 3 Chinese officials in attendance whose task it is to build China's influence around the world and whose work is overseen directly by Beijing. This is becoming a sovereignty issue, plain and simple. As part of Chinese President Xi Jinping's soft power strategy, we are seeing the outflow of Chinese capital, but not for what the media describes as an attempt to avoid corruption inquests, but to allow for Chinese state influence to grow around the globe. Frankly, there is no better example of this right now than what is happening to Vancouver real estate and beginning to happen to Toronto area real estate as wealthy mainland Chinese begin to snap up luxury homes at rates never seen before. And now we know this soft power and influence is extending directly to our federal government. There is no reason or rationale behind the $1 million donation to the Trudeau Family Foundation other than to curry favor with the Liberals and Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Justin's friends in the media party, who also love China, by the way, will try to protect him from these allegations, pointing to the fact that it was his father, Pierre Trudeau, who established diplomatic relations with Communist China before many other Western nations. But is that really something to be celebrated? I'm only 30 and I wasn't born while the elder Trudeau was still PM, but seeing pictures of him being friendly with Chairman Mao, the man responsible for the Cultural Revolution and tens of millions of deaths, tends to make me sick and embarrasses me as a Canadian. So you'll have to excuse me for not being someone cheering Canada's historic relationship with Communist China. Despite tremendous economic growth, China is still one of the world's worst human rights abusers, and is still a communist country that denies many basic freedoms. Yet as a nation and as Canadians, we rarely treat the Chinese government with the same level of contempt as serial human rights abusers such as Russia, Saudi Arabia, or Iran. We tend to convince ourselves that economic ties with China justify this ignorance. Even Stephen Harper, after a good start standing up to China in his early years, backed down in the face of economic benefits. With the result of the US election giving Donald Trump the win, this should mark the perfect opportunity for Canada to side with the US in what will likely be a shift in policy towards China, given President-elect Trump's long-standing skepticism towards Chinese and other Far East trade policy in general. But alas, it appears that just like his father, Justin is willing to diverge with US foreign policy, and it appears history is repeating itself as Canada again cozies up to the Liberal Party's favorite communists in Cuba and China. It's 2016, and red is in vogue once more. For the Rebel.media, I'm Christopher Wilson. Thank you for watching. You know, here at The Rebel, we're going to give you the honest truth about Communist China and their influence. Unlike the media party, we are not afraid to do so. So click subscribe on our YouTube channel.